Hi there. Well, the fun and games have begun again. It's camera introduction time from a major manufacturer. Last time we went through this level of drama, I believe it was the Canon 5D Mark IV. And people whined and complained and got all over the internet because, well, you know, Canon hadn't given them usable 4K video, and Canon hadn't done this, and Canon hadn't done that, and then, of course, everybody who shot Canon went out and bought a 5D Mark IV. Once the dust settles, things usually go back to normal pretty quickly. This time around, of course, it's an even bigger announcement because we have Nikon's first major foray into full-frame mirrorless. Which, of course, is the catchphrase these days. Full-frame mirrorless is what everybody is aspiring to. At least that's what the hype is telling us. Well, so far the complaints have been amazing. I mean, people have gotten so upset over this. Guys, what did you expect? It's a major manufacturer. Major manufacturers tend to be somewhat conservative. They don't move terribly quickly. And at the same time that you are accusing them of basically having too much inertia and kind of sitting still and not giving what the consumer wants, on the other side, then people are jumping on companies like Sony, which are rattling out cameras at a frightening rate for a while at least, because, well, they're obsoleting their equipment too quickly, so on and so forth. Make a decision. The fact is simple. Sony right now is the company that was fighting to gain market share. As a result, they very aggressively went through very rapid stages of technological growth. They came out with new ideas. They came out with new products very, very quickly. Some of them have been described as half-baked because some of them have had flaws. Fair enough. Okay? When you are basically on the leading edge of a new technology, which, you know, full-frame mirrorless was a new technology, then you are going to stumble a few times. You aren't going to get it right all the time. Now they have a good product. I am not in any way going to sit here and sing the praises of Sony. I don't own any Sony equipment. I have owned an old Alpha camera from the old Minolta Maxim mount days, and it was a good camera. No more, no less. At the same time, I'm not going to bemoan the fact that the big companies of Canon and Nikon are slow to move forward. The fact is that they have built high-quality, very functional products for a long time. And you can't expect them to just jump on a new idea right away without giving it some thought in the meantime. And the fact that their camera doesn't seem to progress things way ahead of everybody else is not terribly surprising. But is it a good camera? Probably. At this point, who really knows? At this point, a few people have gotten their hands on pre-production models with incomplete firmware and very little time to check it out and see how it works. The result is that we have mixed reviews. We have some people that thought it was wonderful and some that thought it was terrible. They are screaming to high heavens because of the single card slot. Okay, I can understand the desire for redundancy, but don't make it sound like it's something that's always been there. Let's face it, the idea of dual card slots and having two different media slots in a camera is a relatively recent idea. Back in the days of film, you could not have a film camera that could take two rolls of film and expose both of them simultaneously. It just didn't happen. So if you wanted redundancy, you had to carry two cameras, and that's about it. So my only takeaway from this video is this is what I will call an anti-rant. Because there's so many rants out there. All I want to say is this. Guys, let the dust settle, see what happens. If this new Nikon is a good camera, it will sell well. If it is an adequate camera, it'll probably still sell well. For the simple reason that many Nikon users who have a large collection of older Nikon lenses, well, now they at least have an option of a camera that should, with the adapter, should be able to use those lenses effectively. At least the AFS lenses. Now, anything before AFS, you're not going to have autofocus. But if you've got a collection of AFS lenses, you're in there. If you have a collection of DX lenses, well, maybe now you have to scratch your head and decide whether you really need this camera. Because whenever you take a full-frame camera and put on it APS-C glass that was designed specifically to cover an APS-C sensor, you are going to have vignetting issues, or you are going to have to switch it to crop mode. And crop mode for a 24 megapixel camera is probably less than half the resolution. So you're looking at maybe 10, 11, 12 megapixels. And that means you've just lost the advantage of your fancy new camera. So for those of you with DX glass only, I would advise you to think very carefully before you step into something like this. If you have mostly FX glass or all FX glass, then it then just becomes your choice. Do you need this particular camera? Are you looking forward to what's going to come in mirrorless from Nikon in terms of lenses in the future and so on? Do things like silent shooting and more effective autofocus in live view, do those things mean a lot to you? If they do, then these new cameras will obviously be good choices for you. Simply having EVF that can be used while shooting video is a big plus. I mean, let's face it, I'm shooting right now on a DSLR. But I'm not worried about focusing, not worried about anything. I'm just sitting in one spot, the camera's set, ready to go, that's it. If I were out and about and shooting video, I would like to have something that I have an EVF rather than trying to see that screen. And I mean, I've seen people put the loops that fit over the back of the camera and stick on there and really make for an extremely awkward package. Whereas if you have an EVF, you're in there. All right. So my take on it is simple. I use both DSLRs and mirrorless cameras. I do see the advantages in many ways of mirrorless. Are these new Nikon cameras going to be a big boon to Nikon? Don't know. No idea. Are they great cameras? Don't know. No idea. Will I test one out and find out? Probably not. For the simple reason that, as I said, I'm just a guy who makes videos in his basement. I don't have the financial wherewithal to go out and get these cameras to try them out. And obviously, with my limited exposure, I'm not having companies knock on my door and say, could you please review this product for me? So, all I can say is that from what I have listened to and from what I have read, there are still too many question marks about this camera to go making a big deal about it one way or the other. Well, guys, sorry for this little ramble. My only advice to all of my Nikon users out there, don't rush out and pre-order it yet till you're sure. Don't panic and run away because somebody shouted, it only has one memory slot. Ugh. That's entirely up to what you're going to be doing. I mean, I can understand a wedding photographer being hesitant, but or an events photographer. But if you're a guy who does, landscapes or portraits or things like that, then, you have Yeah, you can check your work constantly. If you have a card issue, you can deal with it. I'm not going to be preaching that, oh, well, I've never had a card problem. I did once. It was a long time ago. But that doesn't mean that you can't have a problem. You most certainly can. I'm rambling now. So, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you want to see more of my videos, you know how to subscribe. And, of course, if you think anybody's going to get anything from this particular video, by all means, share it. Bye for now.